Shock Monkey Radio is created by adults for entertainment purposes. The views and opinions expressed here do not reflect the sponsors or FXPG Public Radio. For additional information, refer to the U.S. Bill of Rights. Stand warned.
I'll talk about the Queen for a second. And I know what you're thinking. When I heard the news, I was like, I don't care. You know, we fought 2 wars to get rid of all that nonsense. I really don't care who's king now. I don't care that the brothers are arguing. I want to be king. I want to be king. You know, I don't care about any of that. You know, and to dismiss it offhand is the right thing to do. All right. As an American, you shouldn't give a shit about any of that. However, I've heard tons and tons of women talking about the Queen over the past week, varying from all ages, from teenagers to very old women, you know, to even like my beloved Rebecca Felgate on Twitter. She doesn't talk much on Twitter, but she mentioned something when the Queen died, and of course I had to go like it because, hey, thanks for saying something on Twitter. And sometimes she responds to me, and that's cool. But the point is that Queen Elizabeth II had a very positive impact on ladies all throughout her lifetime, going back as far as the Second World War. You understand how long she was queen? But she has influenced many, many women. You know, I've heard like 80-year-old women talking about how she was inspired when she heard about the story about the Saudi prince that Queen Elizabeth drove around. You ever hear that story? Go look that up. The Saudi prince that the Queen Elizabeth drove around. And if you know about people in Islam, they can't stand the idea of a woman driving. All right? And I think that's bold and that's badass. And that's Queen Elizabeth II. And that's what women looked up to her for, because she was always a lady. But she was going to challenge some Saudi prince that says something ridiculous like women are too stupid to drive or something like that. She'll show you. She'll stand up to you that way. It's even like I tried to get the picture of the Queen photobombing, but apparently that's licensed now. Have you ever seen that picture of the 2 teen girls that take a picture and like the Queen photobombs them? That woman is awesome. And she was ladylike. She didn't go on like TV like this Meghan Markle chick, you know, spouting off all the family, you know, flapping out the family's dirty bed sheets and stuff like that. The Queen was never like that. You know, Princess Diana and everyone since have been media attention-grabbing idiots. But the Queen acted like a lady from the moment of her birth to the moment of her death. She acted like a lady. She thumbed her nose at misogynist assholes from the Middle East, and she inspired women to be lady-like and be proud of it. So I may say that it doesn't matter. I may say that we really shouldn't care about any of this. But the fact is that the Queen is a hero to real women. You know, all these people get on there and say like, "Oh, England's a colonizer," and like screw England and stuff like that. First of all, those people probably don't even know that the Queen doesn't really do anything in their government anymore. It's mostly a ceremonial role. It's like Hollywood for England in many ways. And it's weird too, because it's like when a new prince is born and stuff like that, it's like Macaulay Culkin, shoving in front of the cameras. Here's Macaulay Culkin. And you don't ask Macaulay Culkin at 7 years old, what do you want to be when you grow up? Macaulay Culkin's like, I'm already an actor, And it's the same thing with like when you go to like school with the prince, And the prince says, I want to be a cop when I grow up, and everyone laughs at him. It's like, no, you're going to be king, And it's kind of weird that way, in the sense that like a lot of the culture of that monarchy is based upon the royal family. And so it doesn't really matter who's in charge. The government will keep churning along anyway. And so these pink-haired, liberal chicks who are like mad at the Queen, are mad at her because they think she like bowed to the patriarchy by being a lady throughout her life, by not airing her dirty laundry, but not painting her, her naked body and running through the streets and, streaming it live on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? She had decorum. She had dignity. You know, there's no naked pictures that ever came out of Queen Elizabeth. You know what I'm saying? And if there are, I'm sure they're extremely valuable right now. I'm not trying to be mean to the Queen, but let's be honest. If they existed, they would be extremely expensive. You know? And so, I mean, we gotta show a little bit of respect to the Queen. You know, screw England and their monarchy, but we got to show a little respect for especially Queen Elizabeth's contribution to culture. You know, in being a real lady in many ways. I mean, you got to understand, it's like, this is the Queen. This is the only Queen that the only Queen I cared about knew, and that's Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury, the only Queen he knew was Queen Elizabeth II. You know what? It's the same Queen that the Sex Pistols mocked. Just think about all that. How important culturally she really was to Western society.